Tom was known around the village for his wild imagination and reckless spirit. At 12 years old, he thrived on adventure, always seeking out new thrills in the most daring of places. His little brother, Jack, only 8, idolized Tom and followed him wherever he went. One crisp autumn afternoon, when the air smelled of fallen leaves and mischief, Tom came up with an idea that would change everything. "Let's go into the forest, Jack. We'll find hidden treasure or discover a secret cave." Tom's eyes sparkled with excitement. The forest was vast, dense, and full of unknowns, a place their parents had strictly forbidden them to enter without supervision. But Tom didn't care about rules, and Jack, eager to be part of his brother's adventures, agreed with a wide grin. The two brothers packed a small bag of snacks, grabbed an old flashlight, and dashed toward the edge of the village where the trees stood tall and thick like ancient sentinels. As they entered the forest, the world around them transformed. The sun filtered through the canopy in golden rays, casting strange shadows on the forest floor, and the sound of their footsteps was swallowed by the mossy ground beneath them. Tom led the way with confidence, but after a few hours of wandering, the excitement began to fade. They hadn't found any treasure, nor a secret cave, only endless trees and unfamiliar trails. Soon, the realization began to creep in. As the sun dipped lower in the sky, the forest began to change. The chirping of birds gave way to the eerie calls of nocturnal creatures. The once welcoming trees now looked menacing. Jack tugged on Tom's sleeve, his voice trembling. "Tom, we should go home. I think we're lost." Tom, though stubborn, couldn't deny it anymore. He tried to hide his fear, but the growing darkness gnawed at his courage. The flashlight flickered as they stumbled through the underbrush, trying to retrace their steps, but every direction looked the same. Hours passed, and the boys grew tired. Cold and hungry, they found a small clearing and huddled together under a large tree. Tom felt a wave of guilt wash over him as Jack shivered beside him. "I'm sorry, Jack," he whispered, his voice barely audible over the rustling leaves. "I didn't mean for this to happen." Jack, always the optimist, rested his head on his brother's shoulder. "It's okay, Tom. We'll find our way out. You always figure things out." Despite his brother's comforting words, Tom felt the weight of responsibility heavier than ever. The night seemed endless, and the forest around them was full of strange noises. Rustling bushes, distant howls, and the occasional snapping twig. Suddenly, there was a sound like no other, the steady crackling of leaves underfoot. Someone, or something, was approaching. Tom grabbed a branch, preparing to defend them. To their astonishment, out of the shadows emerged an old man. He had a long, silver beard and eyes that sparkled like starlight. His clothes were worn but neat, and he carried a walking stick carved with intricate patterns. "What are two young lads doing out here in the forest at this hour?" His voice was deep, yet gentle, filled with both wisdom and curiosity. Tom hesitated but finally answered. "We're lost. I took us too far. We don't know how to get back." The old man nodded as though he had expected such an answer. The forest can be a tricky place for those who don't know her paths. But you're in luck. I know these woods well. Relieved, the boys eagerly followed the stranger as he guided them through the forest. The way he moved was almost magical. He seemed to know every tree, every turn, every hidden path. Though it was dark, they felt safe under his watchful eye. As they walked, the man told them stories about the forest, of ancient spirits, animals that could talk, and hidden places. Before they knew it, the sky began to lighten, and they emerged from the thick of the forest. The village was just beyond. As they stepped out of the forest, Tom felt a rush of relief and gratitude. The village, with its warm glow and familiar rooftops, had never looked so welcoming.